Francisco. We are back for the second excursion. What happened to your men? The few that we had left are sick, and some almost dying. Almagro, in the time that you were gone, I kept some of them alive against their will. Well done, Francisco. We are back with an experienced pilot, who has something to tell you. Capitan, I have heard of your great feats of valor. However, you will no longer be the only one leading this expedition. Almagro has also been named the second captain of the Enterprise. Pilot. You should know that Almagro is only my partner. Between us, that is true. The governor would not have let us come unless someone different than the two of you be the sole captain of this expedition. Almagro. I don't understand what the pilot is saying. Francisco, what Bartolomé Ruiz said is true. If we are two captains, it is because Luque told the governor that I also be named the second in command to keep the Enterprise among partners. Thus, man of the future, on January 1526, we sailed from Chachama and disembarked in the delta of the river San Juan. We tried to make contacts with the savages, but they ran away, leaving gold and plenty of food. We caught some Indians who told us of the great cacique Bogota, which was farther inland. In tree canoes we entered the dark swamps, but we could not advance in these ungodly marshes. I stopped to appraise our situation. We had lost half of our men, the rest were sick and hungry. I felt that this was far enough for now. I told Almagro to go back to Panama, and Bartolomé to continue south. I would remain in the delta taking care of the wounded and burying the dead until either one returned. As they departed, I could see their flimsy ships disappear into the horizon with its sagging sails, like handkerchiefs, waving at us a last goodbye. Sometimes, our farewells were forever. After a few days, Bartolomé saw the uninhabited Isle of La Gorgona. Then, the inhabited Isle of El Gallo. On November 21 he passed the equator by 0 degrees, 5 minutes of latitude. Don Francisco, those 5 minutes in the cartographer's lingo would signify 5 centuries of esclavization for the natives. Who cares of the fate of the Indians? In those unknown latitudes at the girth of the world on December 3 Bartolomé's men saw an unusual embarkation. Piloto. Look out there, una carabella. Hombre. How could that be a caravel? No one has navigated to these oceans. Let us see who they are. Piloto. It is a balsa loaded with cargo. Its handlers are waving at us. They are not savages. Mariner, I will pull beside them, and you can board their contraption. Pilot. There are 5 adults, 2 youngsters, and 3 women. Look at all these golden and silver objects, even a Roman-like scale. You can come aboard. No. We will tie their balsa to our boat. They can take us back to where they are coming from or tell us where they were going to. Bartolomé had encountered a balsa of traders from Tums, in the lands of Peru. This momentous event would represent for both the last minutes of their longitudinal and latitudinal innocence. Once on their ship, the natives showered the new pirates with presents from the cargo that they were taking to Quito. Indians. Tell us, where did you get this gold, and who makes these colorful clothes? What is this scale for? Who are you? Show us the way to your lands, then we will take you to our Capitan. Strangers. What you are seeing is nothing. There is much more in the lands of the great Huayna Capac. His warriors have conquered all the way to where we were going. If you climb the mountains, you will see a lot of what we are bringing and hear more about him. Not knowing, Bartolomé had crossed the great circumference of the earth by 0 degrees, 28 minutes latitude. He saw a prominent cape on the coast and he called it Cabo Pasado, and continued south. Piloto, how far are we going? We are already 1 degree, 35 minutes past the equator. The Indians are anxious that we disembark. Mariner, we have evidence that these lands are different. We will anchor in that promontory that I will call it Cabo de la Vuelta, and then we will return. I am eager to tell Francisco how far we have sailed, and show him all this merchandise. He is going to get more information from these civilized Indians without the need of torturing them. As you can see, man of the future, Bartolomé had coasted from Colombia to the north of Ecuador, and he was the first one to cross the equatorial line. Don't forget that the natives had been traveling back and forth past this imaginary line long before you came to these latitudes. What you mean to say is that this was the first time the people of the Old World crossed the equator on the Pacific. Remember, Don Francisco, whatever you are going to see in these lands has already been discovered by the New World people thousands of years ago. Indiano. Can't you understand that anything that happened before us is irrelevant? Thus, while we desperately waited for Almagro to return from Panama, Bartolomé arrived. My men finally felt that we were onto something. Their spirits began to swell, but not their stomachs. We had nothing to eat. Piloto. Bring me those Indians. Let us hear what they have to say. Capitan. Treat them well, they have been good to us. If it were not for them, we would not have gone as far as we did or bring you all these artifacts. Gran Piloto. We will be good to them, if they tell us what we need to know. Tumbesinos Indians, tell me, what is your kingdom like? Do you have an emperor? If you have one, where is he? Capito Captain, we have a lord greater than anyone in these lands. He is the master of all there is. Mierda. These Indians seem to have a lord who is very powerful. Captain, that is what they are trying to tell you by signaling a crown on their heads, and not on yours. How can we tell them that our emperor is more powerful than theirs, and in time they will get to know why? Capitan. They seem to say that no one can upstage their lord, if we try we will all be killed. Hell. You don't even understand what they are saying? Captain, can't you see that they are making a sign in their necks with their golden knives, which they call tumis? I see what you mean. Ask them, what is the name of their lord? Capito. He is the great Huayna Capac. With the help of their translators, the Spaniards were able to get more information that was not difficult to obtain. Their questions were always related to gold and the strength of their warriors.